How's it going, everybody? My name is JustJarrod, but you can just call me Jared, your one-stop shop for legendary loot news, and today we're talking about 3 separate loot-related things that really aren't big enough for their own videos. On the agenda for today's Loot News Roundup, we're talking about the loot or lack thereof in Magic Legends, also a new RPG being developed by Wizards of the Coast's new game studio, and the absence of Anthem on EA's recent earnings call. Stay a while and listen. Magic Legends is a free-to-play, top-down MMO action RPG being developed by Cryptic Studios and features, you guessed it, Magic the Gathering characters, lore, cards, etc. Personally, I'm not a huge super fan of Magic the Gathering. I used to play back in the day when my dad gave me his cards, but I never got super into it, because I was playing video games instead, basically. But now, it is a video game, and my favorite kind of minus the MMO part, but it's an action RPG, and it looks like a Diablo clone, it looks like there's gonna be loot, could be dope. Well, turns out, not so much on the loot aspect. See, Magic Legends has this cool gameplay aspect which puts a twist on the action RPG genre. Your character, a planeswalker, doesn't have skill slots like the traditional ARPG. Instead, you have a deck of cards and have 4 available for you to use at one given time. Those are essentially your skills for combat, and once you use one, it gets put back into the deck and a new card is drawn. So combat-wise, you can only use whatever abilities you have drawn out of your deck. It's very interesting and could be pretty fun. The big problem I have is that the loot you are chasing is just something called card shards. They just upgrade your cards. That's it. That's the loot. No armor, no weapons, nada. Just shards. The devs said that artifacts will be in the game, which would make sense since they play an important role in the card game actually, but they didn't say how they would be implemented, so maybe artifacts will be another loot item. I just still don't think it would be enough for me personally to get into Magic Legends because that's really not a lot of loot. That's just shards to upgrade essentially the abilities that you're going to be using. It's not like building up a character. It doesn't feel like personalizing a character. It doesn't feel like, super cool because there's not like, doesn't seem like there's going to be rarity as far as like items, like actual items. I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't think it's going to be for me. Let me know what you think. Magic Legends is releasing this year on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and once again will be free to play. Speaking of Magic the Gathering, the owners of Magic, Wizards of the Coast, have put together a brand new game studio called Archetype Entertainment. According to a Polygon article, which will be linked below, this new studio will be led by 2 former BioWare veterans, James Olin and Chad Robertson. Olin, who is the head of this new studio, was a creative director and lead designer of multiple BioWare titles, including the popular Dragon Age series and Baldur's Gate, amongst others. Robertson, who is the studio general manager of Archetype, was the head of live services for, guess what, Anthem. So, why are we talking about this? Well, this new studio is working on a multi-platform sci-fi RPG. This new game will be story-driven, where your choices affect the story, and will take place in a brand new universe, so it won't have anything to do with Magic the Gathering or D&D. Brand new universe, sci-fi, RPG, all things I like to hear. RPGs have loot, loot is my jam, this is why we're talking about it. Sure, it's a long way off, and probably a next-gen game, and we know almost nothing about it, besides that it's sci-fi and it's an RPG, but that doesn't mean we can't be excited. Weirdly enough, speaking of ex-Anthem devs, this brings us to our last loot news story. EA, the publishers of Anthem, recently had their 2019 earnings call. What's weird is that Anthem was completely absent from this earnings report. It wasn't talked about at all, period, which tells us that we probably won't be hearing anything about the supposed Anthem 2.0 that is rumored to be happening. Either it's not happening, or it's a long way off, which makes sense. The game was garbage. It is and has been dead for ages now. I'm at the point, honestly, where I don't even want to play a better version of it. And that better version, I think, is impossible to pull off at this point. And I think it's pointless for BioWare to even attempt it. First impressions mean everything, and Anthem's first impression was bad. Like, No Man's Sky bad. The difference with No Man's Sky is that people still played the game after launch and there were small communities enjoying it. The community is the reason why No Man's Sky came back and did so well. The devs saw the small player base enjoying the game, so they wanted to make it better. They saw a reason to continue on with their game. Barely anyone is playing Anthem. The sour taste that Anthem left in everyone's mouth isn't going to magically go away with a few game updates. We essentially need a complete overhaul, a completely different game at this point, and I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't, truthfully. Let's say that this quote-unquote Anthem 2.0 does in fact happen and releases late this year. It's going to have so much more competition than it did back on official release. Destiny 2 is still going strong, Warframe is bigger than ever, Borderlands 3 is popping off with DLC, next-gen consoles are coming out and with them next-gen looters like Godfall. Will enough people really care about Anthem? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just know that I won't care about Anthem. And that does it for this Loot News Roundup video. Leave a comment below about anything we talked about in this video. I'd like to know your opinions on Magic Legends, on the new Sci-Fi RPG by Archetype Entertainment, or if you also think an Anthem revival is pointless, let me know. Follow me on Twitter for more loot-related news and just general loot stuff. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a like as it helps the video get out to more people, and consider subscribing for more epic loot news. Until next time, have a legendary day, night, afternoon. Peace out.